Welcome back, hot dogs. It's your boy Spider Pig, aka TWP. I know what time it is. Another Super Saturday. Let's get into it though.
No, are they all demons? Are they other members, other gods that we haven't been introduced to? Who are the 5 mystery characters? That's what I want to know. Are they all demons? Are they other members, other gods that we haven't been introduced to, new characters? Remember what I said in the previous video? Not every demon in the demon realm is evil. It doesn't work that way. It's almost like another, there's good and evil people down there. So we'll be talking a lot about that because I'm genuinely wondering where this is going to go. So the booth will be there, and so will some merchandise. As of right now, this is supposed to be the place where the next trailer is going to come out for Dragon Ball Daima. However, because if you remember, I said it's going to be July, but with Victory Carnival being a week before, we may get it there. And it's also possible that there's going to be an English dub trailer coming out very soon as well. I'm not certain. I am not.
It's not too late for you to get your hands on the Geekdom 101 special Dragon Ball Daima merch. If you want a shirt, you can get it in multiple colors, whatever color you think looks the best on you. It's fully customizable and size. And if you don't want a shirt, we also have other variety of clothing as well as hats, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, and even mouse pads. Get it today, don't wait. Alright y'all, so we got a lot going on in the world of Dragon Ball, and none of it is from the official sources. More leaks for Dragon Ball Daima. Yesterday I did a video here on the channel where there was some art that was based on the real character design. I'm going to go into all of that today and discuss and give you more details on the 2 new characters that will be joining Goku and the gang for at least the first arc of Dragon Ball Daima, at least the first major story arc. And let me talk about this and get this out of the way. So there was some controversy about where these leaks came from. There were people that were pointing the finger at other people saying, you leaked this, you leaked that, and others were saying, no, I didn't do that. I'm not going to go into that stuff in detail. So the bottom line is I'm doing this video because this has leaked out. I was not the one who leaked it. I saw it. I had not seen these before. But like I said in yesterday's video, going all the way back to September, I knew about these characters. Like, I knew who they were. I just hadn't seen this yet. So I'm going to show you what's going on. So this is from Kami-sama Explorer, who posted it on Twitter. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So this character right here, this is an official Toei Animation Seitei sheet. If you look there in the upper left, it says Magic, because this show was originally going to be called Dragon Ball Magic. If you've been following the channel, all the way back in September, I discussed that Goku and the Supreme Kai would be joined by 2 new allies, 2 new people from the Demon Realm. So here's who they are. This is the character from yesterday's art. His name is Glorio, and he's named after a flower called the Gloriosa flower. So the pun for some of these Demon Realm characters are flowers. Now, if you notice, he kind of looks a little bit like Mira from Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Heroes and all that. And this character has a gun there you see on his holster. He's a gunslinger, and he will be the one or one of the characters joining Goku on his quest, at least in the first arc. Now, the character we talked about yesterday that we did not see what she looked like is this one right here. This character is named Pansy, and she's based on the Pansy flower. Now notice she has a little purse right there. That purse has a sword in it. So remember, like I said in yesterday's video, and if you go all the way back to September of 2023, before any of this came out, I talked about how they'd be joined by a girl with a sword and a guy with a gun, but I wasn't sure which was which because the information I got, like I was told stuff, I didn't actually see it. Now I'm seeing it, and now it's confirmed. Now it's been confirmed. Here it is. Glorio and Pansy are two characters from the demon realm that will be joining Goku on his quest. And then the last thing I want to show you is this right here. Those soldiers are basically referred to as the 3rd Demon Realm Military Corps. And from what I understand, they work for one of the demons in the Demon Realm. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm trying to find out for you. But basically, these characters are just minions. We see them in the trailer. Goku fights them. I don't think they're anything special. But if you look there on the left of your screen, you'll see Pansy, Gloriosa, Goku, and the Supreme Kai. So the first arc of Dragon Ball Daima, maybe the entire series, is going to be focused on that. Now, I want to point your attention to something else here on the screen. Look at the very top of the screen there. See how it says 220912? That basically means that this art is from 2022, from September 12, 2022. Now, that is 2 years ago, which means that the concept art for this show was already being developed going all the way back to 2022. Now, I talked about this in detail in a couple videos I did, which I'll link to at the end of this video, as well as on streams, that Dragon Ball Daima actually had an animation sampler, almost like a pilot, that was given to Toriyama for him to approve before it went public. This is something that Toei has never done before with Dragon Ball. He had to approve that. And this goes all the way back to September 22nd. And if you remember, the first leaks to ever come out about this Daima web series was in November of 2022 when some of the Twitter people confirmed it, and then I did a stream talking about how there is a web series coming. So I didn't know anything more back then. Like back then I didn't know anything except that it existed. Didn't know any of the plot details. I didn't find out until around late August 2023. Right, and then I did the video in September where I actually revealed it to you guys. Because what happened was a lot of this information leaked online. It was on 4chan. Somebody leaked it out. I don't know who it was, but people in the fandom already knew. Not everyone, but there were people who knew. And as a result of that, I was like, fuck it. Let me just do the video then, because everybody, like a lot of people already knew. So that was kind of my mentality. And when it comes to this, like I didn't leak this, but it's everywhere now. Maybe not, you guys haven't seen it yet because it just came out last night, but it's pretty much everywhere now. So I don't know why the promotion for this has been so terrible. They want it to be successful. Clearly they do, but they've done very little to actually promote it. And it's kind of frustrating, you know, as a fan. But going back to this, that's going to be the main premise of Daima, putting it all together from what I said before. The demon realm is in turmoil because Dabura is dead, and they're going to have to go down there to figure out how to reverse the curse of them being kids again. And then they get caught up in this plot to overthrow the Demon King. So that's an interesting story. And I'm curious about how these new characters are going to play, but you can expect to see them in Sparking Zero as DLC. You will see all these characters, maybe not the minions, but the other main 4 there on the left, you're going to see them in Sparking Zero as DLC. And there's more to come. There's more reveals coming. Make sure you have notifications turned on so that you get every video that I drop on the channel. Make sure you have that. Anyways, y'all, have a great one. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Again, take care of yourself and your families and your friends. We got to spread love, man. Spread love.
subscribe. You want peace? Let us be.
Silence! Silence! Had you been practicing on your art, you know your way in the dark. Silence!
Allow me to demonstrate our skills.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Wait a minute now, could this truly be happening? Were they actually able to find a way to do what I always knew would be their greatest ace card, and finally do it against Lord Grizzlore? For I only now fear that if Gogeta isn't where he needs to be and fully prepared to go all out against Universe 17's Destroyer, then not only will they risk burning through their fusion timer, but they will also run the risk of being utterly decimated by the very end.
As our story now continues following the initial events involving Universe 17's God of Destruction Grizzlore alongside full-powered Super Saiyan Broly and Gogeta, as with Grizzlore already assuming a premature victory and having to assume that he had beaten Gogeta with Broly being shown having to make his way towards him, was when Grizzlore then went on to respond, "So you're still itching for more now, are you? Well, go ahead and come and give me your absolute best, because just like your ally who I was shown having to crush before your very eyes, I'll make sure that you are next to go, Saiyan." To which moments later, with Broly then having to be shown colliding with Grizzlore and creating a shockwave all throughout the landscape, was when Angel Jinrei then went on to chime in, "And I see, now since Lord Grizzlore's attention appears to be entirely focused on Broly despite with his raw power being both formidable and surprising to Lord Grizzlore, I however fear that Lord Grizzlore may in fact be overlooking a far greater threat to him that looms, for it isn't Broly that Lord Grizzlore ought to be solely focused on within the moment, but rather the fusion that awaits above. And as I fear that if Lord Grizzlore doesn't redirect his attention and ensures that both targets are defeated and defeated for good, then I'm afraid his battle is still very far from being over while being completely unaware of what waits for him above. To which it was only upon with Grizzlore shown having to uppercut Broly in the face before having to knock him away was when Grizzlore then went on to quickly respond, "You see, did I not warn you that this was going to be what would happen the more you continue to try and engage me, mortal? Because if you honestly think that the pain is going to stop there, then just like your ally had assumed, you are in for a very rude awakening the longer our battle continues to be waged." Now, while I hate to interrupt your battle against Broly, Angel Jinrei then went on to quickly intervene, but I do want to quickly interject myself here and say that I don't think that you should solely be focusing your battle here on the ground, Lord Grizzlore, for I do fear that you might be overlooking something very important that you may not be noticing within the moment, as Grizzlore went on to then stop himself by then turning around and responding, What are you talking about, Jinrei? What are you saying that I happen to be overlooking that is more important than the battle that is being shown taking place here in front of me? Well, what I mean is that your focus ought to be with what is above rather than what is shown here below, for I want you to go and look a little closer at the result of what was shown taking place involving the Saiyan's fusion, for I don't believe that they are truly finished with you just yet, and so can you sense that too, my lord? As Grizzlore then went on to look on up by then responding, and what exactly do you mean, Jinrei, for I am not able to sense anything coming from up there. Wait, now I'm starting to sense something, but how are they able to hold out against both of my attacks like this, along with Broly's additional blast that was added on top of my own, for they should be dead. But then, it was only shockingly enough through the smoke as Gogeta in fact did prove to not only still be alive, but also seems to be harboring a brand new amalgamated power that combined the strengths of both Goku and Vegeta into one, as Gogeta then went on to quickly respond, while you were quick to declare your victory over me by assuming that your attack would have been powerful enough to already destroy me, you went and made one very crucial error in your judgment along the way, Destroyer, for you went and failed to take into account the power that I bear, because now that I have taken Goku's instinctual evasion and combined it with Vegeta's destructive might, what you see standing before you now is a new level of strength that I have created that you have never seen before, Gogeta continues, for this is not just a fusion of mere bodies, but a synthesis of the ultimate offensive and defensive powers merged into one, and while I can only maintain such a level and limiting myself to having to evolve any further than what my fusion timer can allow for me to handle, you will now come to find out that I will not be as easy to go and engage against as you've recently just experienced, Destroyer. And now that I can see on just how difficult you truly are to deal with in battle after momentarily having to battle you, you can go and set aside any hope that you may have had in defeating me, because now that I'm fully aware on just how strong and just how dangerous you can truly be by even going as far as to rival our Super Saiyan Blue form, what you will experience here and now will be far more than your body will be able to handle. And in case you were wondering, Gogeta continues, you can just go and refer to this as my Ultra Destroyer form, and despite the reduced time limit due to our immense power output, however much time we are left to go and deal with you will be more than enough time for us to go and knock you out as a result of our up and coming and final confrontation, God of Destruction. And so if you thought that I was tricky to go and deal with before, given how you and I were nearly shown having to be relative in strength, then you have absolutely no chance of coming close and stopping what I am now, Lord Grizzlore. And so I will hereby go and give you one final chance. Give up and cease this pointless battle between us now, or face annihilation. So it's your move. Now what's it going to be? As Grizzlore went on to then look on up in shock by then responding, wait, you went and did what now? But how? How are you able to not only endure what it was that I was just shown throwing your way, but also managing to find a way to combine the Saiyan's Ultra forms into now being able to use Ultra Instinct as your base, with the power of a Destroyer as your offensive counter, Grizzlore questions, for there is just no way that what you are saying is to be taken as true, and that is because your immortal body would have already shattered under the extreme weight of the levels in which you are trying to bear, so that's impossible. Well, if you're still in denial about what it was that I had just mentioned to you, Gogeta went on to respond upon Broly being shown rubbing his chin and looking on up, then I welcome you to try and call our bluff if that's what you think this is, and I'll be more than happy to prove you wrong upon the moment I show you, Destroyer. To which Grizzlore was looking to accept, because with Grizzlore then shown having to channel 2 Hakai orbs once again within his palms was when Grizzlore then went on to continue, why, you disrespectful mortals, try and call your bluff only to prove me wrong, huh? Well, so be it then, because I highly doubt that your miserable fusion will be strong enough to go and endure the same onslaught again. As not only will I go on to overwhelm you both once more, but this time time around, I'm going to make sure that I hit you with enough force that you will never go and speak to me like that again. And if you haven't learned your lesson by now, then maybe this ought to finish you off, mortals. What a shame that you newly resurrected destroyers are filled with such pride and blinded conviction that you fail to understand that times have changed, Gogeta responds. But since you cannot seem to want to accept the reality of what you're currently up against here, Destroyer, then maybe this ought to open your eyes to see the truth behind my power and why you will never be strong enough to overtake it, especially so as long as I continue to wield it in battle against you, God of Destruction. So even while you attempt to try your hand at directly having to go against me, Gogeta went on to then Hakai Grizzlore's attacks, let this be what serves as one of many of the examples that I will show you on why you will never muster the necessary power that is needed to overtake what I've become. And since your anger towards us has blinded you to the truth of the reality that stands before you, Gogeta went on to then blitz his way down, maybe now is a better time than any other for me to go and show you on exactly what it is that I mean when I say that you have no chance. My word, Gogeta's movements are absolutely astonishing, Angel Jinrei went on to oversee as Gogeta went on to knock away Grizzlore's second attack, for it is clear that Gogeta's mastery of Goku's Ultra Instinct is allowing for him to move with incredible precision, but what's even more astounding from what I can see is Gogeta's ability to switch in and out of using Vegeta's Ultra Ego within the blink of an eye, which is truly beginning to look as though it's starting to slowly take its toll on Lord Grizzlore, for this combination is proving to be far too overwhelming for Lord Grizzlore to bear within the moment, but even now I wonder on what Lord Grizzlore's last result is going to be if he simply cannot overpower the fusion and is left with no other reserves left, Jinrei questions. And because with Broly now having to be shown jumping back into the fray, Jinrei continues, this doesn't truly appear to be favoring Lord Grizzlore in any sort of way that he was expecting for it to be, to which upon as Broly was shown attempting to attack Gogeta, it was only once again made painfully clear that Gogeta really didn't want to engage against Broly, but instead tried to talk Broly out of this, as Gogeta then went on to dodge Broly's attacks by responding, I tried warning you several times over, but you just didn't want to go and listen, and while your mind appears to be clouded by rage, I know that you can hear me in there, Broly, and while I can see that even you appear to be very surprised by the outcome of what is shown taking place before you, Angel, and I can assure you that even with my time shortened, I will still go on to defeat your God of Destruction and revert Broly back to his calm state of mind before my fusion is over. And so while I stand before you and asking you to once again cease your attacks and stand down, Gogeta continues, and I know that you aren't going to listen, and because I know that you simply aren't going to listen to anything that I'm saying, then you simply leave me with no other choice but to make you listen, Broly. And so you can try as many times and try as hard as you'd like, Gogeta continues, but without proper control over your power and without the ability to focus in and evolve yourself in ways which would be more proactive towards our cause, then you will never be able to break free of this curse if you continue to allow for this anger and for this rage to swallow you whole, Broly. And so now wake up and snap out of this mindset that is keeping you prisoner within your own body, Broly. For I know that you've been watching and I know that you've been paying attention while dealing with these newly resurrected destroyers. And so now go and get it together or you will be destroyed in the process, Gogeta went on to then knock Broly down. And so now what's it going to be? Because if you continue to try and engage with me, Gogeta continues, then I am going to either knock you out or you will die. And so now what are you going to choose to do? For I'm not going to go and warn you again. Do you hear me, Broly? And so you better be glad that I'm not giving it my all against you, otherwise you would have been destroyed. For I am not your enemy in this fight, nor do I want to be forced into doing this, and so now hurry it up and try to snap at. But then, it was only just then from out of nowhere with Destroyer Grizzlore being shown having to appear behind Gogeta and wrapping Gogeta up in a bear hug was when Grizzlore then went on to quickly respond, the only one who is going to find themselves snapping here is going to be you, mortal, for how dare you go and turn your back to me? For I don't care about who you are or what kind of power you claim to have.
That boy caught Gogeta with that big ass bear hug from the big. No Diddy though. No Diddy. Shouts out to the no Diddy process. I don't like it, but hell, it fits. Put me on camera. put me on camera. Where am I at? I mean, I had to go take a shower, but hell, now I'm back. Shit, let's get back to the rest of the show. Boom.
For no one lays their hands on me and lives to walk away to talk about it, Fusion. Especially not you, that much I will promise. And so go ahead and try to resist, because I'm going to squeeze the life out of that body of yours before I go and devour it whole. Yes, that's right. And so which one of us would you want to go and start the countdown here? Because I'm not letting go of you until I know that you are dead. But it was only unbeknownst to Grizzlore, as Grizzlore went on to then look out into the distance, and seeing Broly charge up for an energy blast within his mouth was when Grizzlore then went on to continue. Oh, now what? And just what are you looking at, Saiyan? What are you gazing at me like that for? Thinking about saving your dear old Fusion, are you? With Gogeta responding, oh yeah, I know that look, and it isn't a look where he's looking to come to our aid, but instead Gogeta went on to then quickly spin around. Well, you're about to go and find out the hard way is what I mean, Destroyer, and so now watch. And watch Grizzlore did, because even with Grizzlore refusing to let go of Gogeta, as Broly had gone as far as to unleash his mouth blast and having to catch Grizzlore from behind, was when Jinray then went on to chime back in. How very cunning of that Fusion to go and use Lord Grizzlore's massive size and weight against him, and to have him be used as a shield like this. And as I feared that something like this would ultimately go and happen, but I truly didn't expect for the odds that were stacked up against Lord Grizzlore to come from Universe 7 of all places, but alas it did, Jinray continues. And while the Saiyans, even despite with Broly not fully working alongside Gogeta, continue to attack and stay on Lord Grizzlore, if this onslaught against Universe 17's God of Destruction continues without Lord Grizzlore's ability to counter their methods of attack increases, then I unfortunately do not see him being able to endure much more of this unless something drastic and sudden were to somehow occur. To which it was only momentarily after Grizzlore went down, as Broly was then shown having to dash at Gogeta yet again, was when Gogeta went on to then respond. It surprises me to no end to see that despite how many times I try to warn you to stay away from me, you still continue to try, even after having to explain to you that I am not your enemy here, Broly. But if you are that desperate for a reminder and allowing for me to go and show you on where you stand when facing across from me, Gogeta went on to then counter Broly's strike by responding, then I will gladly go and remind you of exactly why I am everything that you fear, and while I know that there is a part of you deep down that can hear me, I just want you to know that this ends now. And so I am done handing out any more chances, and so this ought to warrant you off a while I go and handle business in the meantime and finish this fight while I still have the time. And while I attempted to warn you several times over not to engage against me, Gogeta went on to then toss Broly onto the side, if you go and try to attack me like that again, then I'll make sure that it'll be the last time that you ever do. And so just do what you know is right and stay out of my way, Broly. And now, Gogeta then went on to quickly charge up for a massive Kamehameha. No matter how big you are or how strong you claim for yourself to be, I'll make sure that your rampage against us ends with this. You will never be strong enough to muster the power that is needed to break my spirit, Saiyan. Grizzlore then went on to suddenly respond, for it will be you who will be crushed by the fruits of your own failure, and so now come and show me what you're made of and hit me with everything that you have. To where shockingly enough, as Broly went on to then stand back up by holding onto his ribs and suddenly having to acknowledge the overall situation, was when Broly then went on to utter that attack. I remember that attack from a long time ago. And remember the attack Broly did, because despite with Gogeta unleashing a devastating and massive divine Kamehameha, with Grizzlore also shown having to erase the attack at the same time while having to crash through it, was when Jinray then went on to chime back in. Now, as much as I admire the effort that these Saiyans were shown putting into trying to beat Lord Grizzlore, I do believe that it was a mistake for Lord Grizzlore to engage against Gogeta like this, but it's a call that just simply had to be made. To which it was only then with a gigantic explosion then being shown taking place with Gogeta being shown having to also shield himself, was when Gogeta then went on to quickly chime back in. Oh, there, a direct strike, for he didn't even try to avoid it, but instead went right into it. And so, did it actually work is the question, because there is no way that he should still be able to still be shown standing after taking an attack of that caliber head on the way he did. And so, did it work? Wait, Gogeta then went on to quickly continue. I think I'm able to see him. Yes, there he is. And by the looks of it, he doesn't appear to be in any sort of condition to continue with this any further. And so, does this mean that he's down for good? Or was he momentarily just stunned and is planning to continue? To which, as Gogeta was then shown powering back down to his base form, was when Gogeta then went on to continue. Oh man, what a battle. For that God of Destruction wasn't letting up no matter what it was that we went and tried against them. But in the end, I'm glad that this is all finally over with. And my power, we've reverted back down to our base level, which more than likely means that our final Kamehameha must have drained the final bits of time that our fusion had remaining, since I already feel like we're going to separate at any given moment, Gogeta continues. But is it really over is the question, for I must be sure, because I can't just go on and take any chances while we're still fused. But then, it was only just upon with Angel Jinrai being shown getting in between both Grizzlore, Gogeta, and Broly was when Jinrai went on to then stick his arm out behind them by then responding, whatever you're about to go and do, I would encourage for you to not follow through on, as I will hereby go and handle this situation myself and ask that you all stay back in the meantime while I check in to see what Lord Grizzlore's condition currently is, for I will ensure to inform you all of what comes out of this once I am sure of the results behind your actions, and so please remain where you are. But surprisingly enough, just when Gogeta had assumed that this was all over and done with was when Broly had appeared from out of nowhere by grabbing onto Gogeta by the back of the shoulder, as Gogeta then went on to respond. What the? Oh wait, you're still standing without falling back down to your base yet? Now just hold on for just a moment, alright Broly, because we can Fusion Warrior Gogeta, Broly went on to then utter. Thank you, I remember you, and I remember what you said, Broly went on to then shake Gogeta's hand forcefully. Whoa, no way, Gogeta went on to then quickly respond upon being shown shaking Broly's hand. You can actually talk while in that form, but since when were you able to go and do that? Because typically you're just out of your mind insane, and so this is new to me, but oh sure, I'm glad that we were able to, well, remind you of when we did. But then, it was only from out of nowhere with Goku and Vegeta then shown having to separate as Broly went on to then power back down to his base form, was when Vegeta then went on to quickly respond. What the heck just happened? Wait, I'm me again. Our fusion had completely worn out, with Goku responding. Whoa, it did. How long was that? Like maybe 6 or 7 minutes? Because, well, that felt really fast, didn't it? And hey, look, it's Broly. Are you okay, Broly? Because you don't look too good. And so I hope that our fusion didn't go and hurt you that bad now, did it? Because you know that deep down we really didn't mean to hurt you, you know? With Broly responding, I think I'll be alright, but my ribs, I think they're broken because I was able to hear you from within, and so thank you for sparing my life. As Angel Jinrai went on to then oversee Grizzlore down below by them responding, well, from what I'm able to gather together following your initial battle and devastating final attack against Lord Grizzlore, it would only now appear as though you have inadvertently knocked him out into going straight back into his hibernation, with Vegeta questioning, wait, say what now? He's completely out cold? Indefinitely?
What Ice Cube say? My Jimmy go deep, so deep, put her ass to sleep. That boy said he was ready to hibernate. So Gogeta went ahead and knocked his ass out so far into the knocked outedness that he went ahead and just started hibernating. Said, I ain't getting up. I done got the fuck knocked out. I might as well go ahead and stay asleep. Hey, somebody get that boy a pillow.
So we managed to lay him out to the point where he slipped and fell straight into sleeping from that, and so, he isn't going to be standing back up somehow and wanting to eat us now, does he? With Jinrai responding, now while I understand your notions of curiosity and concern surrounding what may come out of this very surprising yet interesting situation, and especially when considering that this has never happened to Lord Grizzlore before, you may all now rest assured that Lord Grizzlore will not be engaging against the three of you while in this current current state that he is in, for he is only now resting and shall remain this way for the time being. However, in the meantime, I would like to go and have a word with the three of you, and so you will all stay right where you all currently are so that I may address you along with your actions along the way here today. To which all the while in the meantime, when then having to venture on back into Universe 7, in seeing as to how Whis, Beerus, and Gohan had finally arrived back onto Beerus's planet, was when Whis went on to then chime back in, and there we are now, home sweet home, am I right? Goodness, and what a brilliant and explosive conclusion to your training session as well, Whis continues. For I would be lying if I said that the two of you didn't already have me by the edge of my seat, but in the end, I am very glad that you were both able to pass, with Beerus having to then chime in. Yes, and while I second on the idea of bringing Goku's son along to train alongside me, as good of a battle as it was, don't forget about the agreement that we had made to keep the results of our battle between us until further notice, Whis. Why yes, no, but of course, Whis responds, as I'm sure that the results of both of you having to obtain such power will more than likely inspire the others to also go and do the same in no time as well, my lord. Hey Whis, I have a small request to make if it's not too much to ask for, Gohan went on to then question, as I wanted to go and see if you could maybe change my outfit by giving me something new that blends together the outfits of my past that involve Piccolo and my father's, and so could you maybe just go and do that for me? With Whis responding, a new outfit that blends together the history of your masters, do you? Well, alright then. Now let's just go and see on what we can go and come up with then, shall we? And so while I may have a bit of an understanding as to why you want to go and change the design of your outfit, and I do in fact actually believe that this ought to be a new and refreshing take on your image, and especially when considering your newly unlocked powers, that is, and so there you go, to which as Gohan's outfit was now shown completely changing, it was only just as Gohan was then shown having to gain this new outfit by Whis was when Whis went on to then continue, and there, as I do find this blend of colors to be far more better suiting for you now that you're the strongest mortal among all those who exist within Universe 7, and at least for now, of course, until the others get wind of what you had undergone, but alas, here is your new outfit, and so what do you think? With Gohan responding, amazing, I didn't think that it would honestly look this good, but I'm glad that you were able to forge something that looks just as great as what you just made, Whis, so just truly thank you for that, but I also do have another question to ask you that relates to my dad and the others actually, so would you happen to know on where they all currently are, and if so, then would it be possible for you to go and send me into the universe that they are all currently inside of, Gohan questions? And I just want to go and check in with all of them just in case they are all in need of some kind of assistance wherever they may be, as Beerus then went on to chime in, yes, and I say you go and bring him wherever those other Saiyans happen to currently be within the moment while you and I handle other businesses in the meantime, Whis. And so where do they happen to be within the moment, as Whis went on to then respond, well, if you insist, and so now let's see, well, that's odd, for they no longer appear to be within Universe 16, but instead, well, they all happen to be waging a battle against Lord Grizzlore in Universe 17 at the moment, Whis continues, and by the looks of it from what I can see, it would now seem as though their battle against Lord Grizzlore is now over, and so if it is, then that's where I'll be sending you, Whis went on to then point out his staff by responding, and so alright now, for I wish you well on your journey on going and getting them all back, but, well, do please be careful and try not to get yourself along with the others destroyed if something were to go wrong, as Gohan then went on to respond, you can count on me, Whis, and with my newly evolved power in my back pocket, I'll make sure that nothing goes wrong in bringing everyone back here.
That's how you know Gohan is him. He had to stop and make sure he had some new drip. Said, I can't show up with this new power in my old outfit because it don't go right. You see what I'm saying? I got this super elite level of God, Lord Beerus swag right now, and I need a new outfit.
Here, and so thank you, to which as Whis was then shown sending Gohan off into Universe 17, it was only just as Whis and Beerus were beginning to gaze on up and seeing Gohan leave was when Whis went on to then continue, no, and off he goes, for I do hope that the others aren't in a position where they will need Gohan's help, but, well, I do have that feeling that they have already engaged against Lord Grizzlore by now, but what do you say we go and grab a bite to eat in the meantime, Lord Beerus? With Beerus responding, no, I'm not in the mood to eat anything actually, and I don't plan for us to stay here for much longer than we need to, and so this is what I will need for you to go and do, Whis. I want you to go and get approval from the Grand Minister in allowing me to have my rematch against Universe 16's God of Destruction Reno, along with whoever else wishes to settle their differences with me, Beerus continues. For it's time to settle an old score, and a score that has been bothering me ever since it happened. And so I want you to go and take me to Lord Reno's universe as soon as you are given approval by the Grand Minister, Whis. For I have not forgotten about the humiliation of my defeat by his hands, as this time around I plan on having things end much differently than how they previously did, as I am going to make them all remember on who I am, Beerus continues. And while the defeat I suffered is but a blemish that must be corrected with my training completed, the power that I now possess will make him tremble in wishing that he had never went and made the mistake that he did, as I will force him to remember my strength, for he will pay for every moment of my humiliation that I had to suffer by his hand. And so now go and do what you must, and once you do, Beerus went on to then add, I want you to go and take me into Universe 13 at once, for the time has finally arrived, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 17 Saga Manga Chapter number 9 finale then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that even though with this entire situation between our heroes and Lord Grizzlore now finally over, I knew that our friends were going to fight through the odds that were shown being stacked against them and ultimately find a way to win, and they did! But I'm afraid that their journey is not yet over, for I do suspect that there will be some major turn of events that will follow after Lord Grizzlore's brief and sudden defeat, and so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unreal Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching, and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Which parent are you? In the bustling city of Nutriville, a group of extraordinary individuals has emerged, known far and wide as the Superfood Parents. They are on a mission to transform their families' lives through the power of nutrition, one delicious bite at a time. Meet Chef Laquita Marie, the culinary mastermind behind the Superfood Parents playbook. With boundless enthusiasm, she welcomes you to embark on a thrilling journey to becoming a true superfood hero. But what exactly does that mean? In Nutriville, superfood parents are everyday heroes. These superfood parents lead the charge for better health, but not with capes. They lead with carrots, and whole food fats like avocados. And instead of masks, they lead with mangoes and berries. Fruits and vegetables are the disease-destroying arsenal of heroes. Are you a disease-destroyer superhero for your loved ones? Fruits and veggies fuel the mission of heroes like Veggie Vixen. Are you a Veggie Vixen for your loved ones? Dedicated to ensuring their loved ones thrive on a diet rich in faves, fruits and vegetables. Here's your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide your family to superhero status by reaching the highest levels of health and wellness daily. Become a plant-powered titan, a superfood avenger, or even a faves crusader by earning 5 points for every fruit or vegetable eaten. It's a fun-filled quest where nutrition meets excitement. All of the digital details are at superfoodparents.com for the full experience. Superfood Parents has also created workbooks, where you'll discover the tools you need for success. These workbooks give you the heroic strategies to craft your grocery list like a seasoned hero. Which means you now have a playbook to even track your weekly meals like a true champion. And engage in mind-bending nutritional education with word searches that will keep your family entertained and informed. So, are you ready to join the ranks of the Superfood Parents? Are you prepared to unleash the power of faves and make every meal a heroic endeavor? If so, flip the page of the Superfood Playbook and let's begin your journey to becoming the ultimate superfood hero.
To become a sponsor, just visit superfoodparents.com.
Remember to subscribe and enable notifications so you can get all my content and keep up with news about the upcoming Dragon Ball Daima anime and whatever else coming down the pipeline, including the Dragon Ball Super manga. But if you happen to miss a video, head on over to the playlist portion right here on your screen, and right here it'll say Dragon Ball Daima Web Anime News. That is the playlist with all of the news videos covering the upcoming 2024 40th anniversary web/streaming anime Dragon Ball Daima. So again, playlists, it's right there, yo. Keep up to date with all the news here on Geekdom 101. Alright, so we've got a massive Dragon Ball Daima news update ahead of Jump Victory Carnival. The official Dragon Ball website has dropped a new trailer right here. I'm going to give you my thoughts in just a moment. We're going to break down this trailer shot for shot, but I want to go over the article first because new characters have been revealed now, officially the ones that we had heard about through leaks this past week, and on top of that, now we have more confirmations. I'm going to go over all of that in this jam-packed video. Make sure you watch it all the way to the end because there's a lot of information here. I mean a ton of information. So, Dragon Ball Daima is coming. New original anime series, October 2024. That is the official release date. Toriyama created the original story and character designs for this show. He passed away during the production of the show, which I'm sure we will hear more about in the next weeks and months as far as what they're going to do with Toriyama's passing. So they're unveiling a new trailer, new characters, and a new visual. So this is a new visual, a new world, a new Dragon Ball Daima 2024-10, October 2024. It makes me really sad that it has Toriyama's name on it and he passed away. It says here the newly unveiled visual shows a dynamic image of Goku and Supreme Kai riding a dragon and heading out on an adventure. Behind them, 3 mysterious worlds can be seen. Yes, there's 3 worlds here. There's 3 of them. We're going to go over all of that here. And remember how I talked about how the Demon Realm may not be the only place that's getting explored? Well, it looks like we're going to get more information on that very soon. It says here new characters that will be appearing in Dragon Ball Daima. Glorio, the pilot of a plane, and the masked Majin. What will they do in the story? How will they get involved in Goku's adventure? Look forward to further announcements. So here is the main cast of Dragon Ball Daima. Interesting. Once again, no update on Gohan yet, but we've got on the left, all the way on the left, it's Goma, and then right next to him, the masked Majin. That character is literally called the masked Majin. Then we have Glorio, whom was discussed earlier this week. Monday, we dropped the visual, the art from Chronicles and the artist, and then the official behind the scenes production information about him. Then we have Goku and the Supreme Kai, followed by Vegeta and Piccolo. So it looks like Vegeta and Piccolo will be coming along with them on their quest, or at least be involved to a degree. Mini Vegeta, Mini Piccolo. I suspect all 7 of these characters and more will be playable in Sparking Zero when the Daima DLC comes out. So it says here, Gloria, who appears in the plane, in a plane before Goku and company, the Caped Masked Majin, and Goma, which is basically the guy there with the eyes, who watches Goku and company with an intense gaze from a screen location. Goma is basically I believe this is the character that's supposed to be next in line to be the king of the demon realm. We broke all of that down in a video I put out last week with exclusive leaks from the plot for Daima, or at least a part of the plot. And it says here, the new trailer packed with scenes featuring mystery new characters also shows Goku together with Supreme Kai, who have been turned small in a conspiracy. You know, once again, we talked about the conspiracy aspect. We talked about how it's not like GT where it's a wish to make them kids again. We talked about all of that. This is different now. Great adventure with Goku and company have been turned small. Stay tuned for a Dragon Ball world no one has ever seen before. So, very excited. Let's go ahead and go to the trailer now, and I'm going to do a shot-by-shot breakdown. All right, everyone, here is the trailer. We're going to go shot by shot here, and I'm going to give you, well, scene by scene breakdown. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the trailer and what I think is happening and what I've heard is happening and what I know is happening. I will differentiate what I know and what I don't know. There's a lot of things I do not know because they haven't unveiled that many details on the story yet, but there's still more to come. Obviously, this is going to be a long-running anime series, not just a few episodes in a movie or anything like that. Let's go. Let me go all the way back to the start here. So there we see Kibito, Supreme Kai, Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo. So, and if you look in the background there, that right there is what's known as the Heavenly Realm. In the dub, it's called the Kami's Lookout. So they're all there, presumably preparing to go. And there we have our first look at Glorio. He's named after the Glorio plant, and he will be the one who, it looks like he's the pilot. It looks like or at least a pilot involved. The background being blue, being nighttime, tells me this is not the demon realm. This is somewhere else. Possibly even, he may possibly be the guy to just take them down there. Now we have a shot of, now this looks like the demon realm. It really does. There's that castle we saw in the first trailer all the way there in the background with some mountains. Now this appears to be a more space-like cosmic area. I don't know if they're going to be traveling through space necessarily. That I had not heard, because the demon realm seems to be like a big plot point here for Dragon Ball Daima. I didn't think it was going to be like GT, so I don't believe that's what this is, but this is definitely an alternate realm, because if you look at it, it doesn't really look like anything that we've seen in Dragon Ball before. Close-up of Kaioshin. This appears to be some kind of laboratory, probably Bulma's, because the CC Capsule Corp logo is there. That could be Bulma or somebody there working on craft to allow Goku to travel to these different realms. I love the RPG music. This show is very JRPG. It feels more like a quest, which we haven't had in a while. That looks to be the 7 Dragon Balls. Of course, Mr. Toriyama's name. Goku putting his hands up. I love the music, man. It's very melancholy. Well, not melancholy. Very whimsical. That's the word, whimsical. I love this too. Glorio, I love the shot there of just him with the gun. This looks so much like Dragon Quest Dai. I mean, just so much that same art style. Remember, this show is being animated by a lot of the people that did Dragon Quest Dai and Dragon Ball Super Broly. So there will be a lot more of that type of classic animation with a more of a modern flair, but it's still not going to be like Superhero, which was like a computer animated sort of hybrid style. This looks like an eye opening up, maybe some kind of monster, but I'm not entirely sure. Because see how almost like a reverse blink? Let's go back for just a moment. Look. See, that's like an eye opening up. Goku, well, we saw a character there, which, hold on, let's go back for a minute. We saw a character there that, this could be the Masked Majin. In fact, I think it is. That's the Supreme Kai basically telling Goku just to, you know, be careful what he says. I'm assuming maybe he said the wrong thing. Another shot of Glorio. I'm not sure the context of the Supreme Kai with his hand up there. I'm not sure of what that context is, but still, it looks kind of like the pose that Goku. Remember how in the Majin Vegeta thing when Supreme Kai tries to stop them from fighting and Goku puts his arm out right in his face? This is after all that, so. It's almost like in a weird way, like a reversing of like an homage to that scene. This character we saw in the first Daima trailer, this guy right here. There's the Masked Majin officially, right there. That's Goku, and I'm guessing that is Glorio based on the on where the gun is, the holster. So this might be their first meeting. This is in the demon realm as they are essentially watching what's going on back there, y'all, is basically the Majin Buu saga and the events of the Majin Buu saga, the hatching of Buu, the death of Dabura. That's what they're watching. They're essentially watching it as it's going on, or watching the replay as they begin the plot. This is going to be early. This is like the first episode that we see this. I cannot tell who that is from here. It could be Glorio. It could be a different character. I do not know who this character is yet. I honestly have no idea. This is, I believe this is that Demon King. I believe it's this guy right here. And this is basically only known right now as his name is Goma. And I believe this is the next in line to be the Demon King that I had reported on a couple weeks ago. Remember, I was told these things, but I hadn't actually seen the footage until today. You know, now we're actually seeing what these things look like. This looks to be his chambers. I think that looks awesome. Again, very JRPG-ish, you know, just very, very, you know, that really unique architecture that we see Toriyama's come up with throughout the years. Masked Majin, Glorio, Kaioshin, Goku preparing to fight. I'm not sure what episode this is from, but hey. And we have the official October 2024 release date. This is basically the story of Dragon Ball Daima, going through the popularity of Dragon Ball, and it just basically says that October 2024, on the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball serialization. It started in November 2024, but they're getting a head start in October. The new series Dragon Ball Daima will finally begin and make its mark in the history of Dragon Ball. No definitive release date yet, but that is the story. That's what we have. A very exciting time. A new Dragon Ball show coming. If you're waiting for Super, it's not going to come till after Daima, and there's no word on any production on a Super anime. The manga, however, that still remains to be seen because they are still on break for at least the next 2 months, and until we have an update on that, that's all that's going on right now. That's it for the video. Tell me what you thought about this entire thing. Take care of yourself and each other, and I'll see you real soon.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden,